girls that play volleyball, they run just tall, taller than I think the average guy. I was talking to somebody about that last week. I seen I can visually look at it. Oh, yes.
Oh, no problem at all. I'll sit here. Yeah, sorry. I'm Lena.
Okay. Well, the next I wasn't quite in the school.
Can I have your attention, please? It is after 6 o'clock. Hello, everybody. First off, we do have a sign-in sheet kind of migrating throughout the room here, and we have agendas. So the agendas are going to be coming around. If you haven't grabbed a snack or drinks, please go ahead and grab something now. Feel free to get up if you need to. I guess we've kind of had a nice little icebreaker already as people come in and introduce themselves. But maybe real quick, I'm kind of curious to get a show of hands of the different language programs that are represented tonight. So if your child's in the Chinese track, raise your hand. All right. Big turnout. French program. Okay, decent. And Spanish track? Okay. So we've got strong Chinese support tonight. So very good. All right. Well, we've gotten off to a bit of a late start this year. We tried to have elections at the end of last year, but things got a little busy and chaotic. We didn't get any nominations, so we decided, well, let's wait until the fall. We'll try to regroup. We have a new class coming in, so we'll have more people. Well, a lot of things happened over the fall. Things got delayed, etc., etc. Here we are. So we seem to have had a hard time recruiting people via our sign-up. If you signed up, please let us know. There might have been some technical difficulties. But over the last few weeks, we've been reaching out to parents through word of mouth, and we recruited some potential board members. But so tonight, if they're here, I'd like to introduce them. So Anna Zawaslansky. Our nominated president. She has a 7th grader in the Spanish track. We have Sandra Rivera. I know I saw her. There she is. Her son is 6th grade Spanish track. Then we have also, I'm not sure she made it tonight, Nashua Beach as a at-large member. Her daughter's 7th grade French. And then returning, we have Adina Lau, and she's a returning at-large member. And Melina Jimenez Flores, she's not able to make it tonight, but she's returning at-large. And I am putting myself in for an at-large member for this year so that I can continue to work with the board, have fluidity. So here we are. We didn't necessarily have a formal election, but I want to put it out there. All in favor of having these members be our active board members, say aye. Aye. Anyone against, say nay. The ayes have it. So we officially have a board. With that said, we do still have an open secretary position. So if you are interested and want to be part of the board, we would love to have you. Please contact me. And I'd like to propose a change to our board, actually. We were discussing trying to have representation for all the grades. So we're not quite there yet, but in thoughts of keeping the board numbers to an odd number, we wanted to add 2 more board members this year. We don't have to necessarily appoint them now, but we will definitely have them as a position to vote for in the spring. But we wanted to add 2 more at-large members. So when we do the elections next year, we'll have an at-large for 6, an at-large for 7, an at-large for 8, etc.
Penny, you just said that, and I agree that it's appropriate for you as president to be continue serving on this board, but that's more of an ex officio position, which I think is appropriate to have because we want that continuity. So I just want to throw that out there that perhaps the position for you is not necessarily at large, but as ex officio, so that arrangement that would just be an understanding that that's how we our board is constituted, that we have an ex officio role for the president that's rotating off. So just to throw that out there for our newly elected.
Something to consider. Something to consider. I don't think we necessarily have that in our bylaws. I think what we said was the president was a 1-year position and they could run again. And then the at-large positions are 2 years, so that they're a rotating position.
Just another way to think about it, how some boards are constituted for continuity, you can have the president, the incoming president, and then the past president. So the incoming, the president-elect, and the past president are actually 2 slots. So if you're thinking about sort of switching up or amending the bylaws, that's one way to think about it, to have that continuity, because I agree it's important. And then it's sort of a recognized slot.
And I love that, but we need people to volunteer.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. We get people to.
No. I was thinking going forward so that Penny, that slot would be immediate past president. So that's, and then we have 2, right? And then the next year. I know it's a work in progress, but that is just one way
Something to consider
yeah.
to amend. Okay. We will put that on something to amend our bylaws. All right. I think that, having 2 additional board members would be helpful. We are a growing school. Just a testament was the Hispanic Heritage Night. It was a huge turnout, and it was, 400 or 500 people easily. So we didn't necessarily have the manpower to drum up the donations of food, which made this night historically such a success, and the manpower to help facilitate it. So we definitely need to get more people involved, and that's our goal this year, is to find out ways to grow and to also do these community events in ways that, people are happy volunteering and people are happy attending and everything runs smoothly. Anybody have any opposition to adding 2 more board members?
Can I propose a motion?
Sure.
Okay. That we add 2 more members at large to represent grades that are not represented or tracks that are not represented. And then we can take the other one under advisement of the bylaw. But that's separate. But the motion at the floor is to propose to add 2 at-large positions to ensure representation in grades and tracks.
The tracks might I think the tracks will fall into place.
Okay. Okay, great.
I think it's hard to, because then I think we almost need to add 2 more positions, just like as a dedicated, or 3 more positions as dedicated track otherwise. But perhaps representing the grades, and then within maybe a committee, we make chairs that kind of are the touch points for the different language tracks.
All right, so I withdraw that motion. Put a motion forward to nominate 2 additional at-large positions to represent each grade.
Okay.
Second?
Anyone want to second that?
I'm confused. So each grade as in, so what grades are we adding right now?
So right now, we would actually, for the next 2 years, we would have maybe some double up in the at-large. But we want to make sure that we have Eventually, we're going to have 6 people, 6 through 12.
The at-large will have to be just what they cover.
Right, we'll have a specified at-large 6 through 12. Yes. This year, we're only 6 through 10, right? So we're kind of good, but we could, moving forward for next year, we can't really add one more because then we have an even number of people. And then, so I'm thinking if we just add 2 more, we have designated 6 through, it'll be next year 11, and then that additional person will be just a general at-large. And then once we have 6 through 12, it'll be the at-large, each grade will have an at-large person. Okay, so all in favor say aye. Aye. Okay. So we'll work on getting that integrated into this year. Okay. All right, well, we'll move on to Mary. Here she goes. Mary with her update.
You're frozen. Oh wait, it's like playing back. Oh, it's behind you. It's like slow. Interesting. Okay. But I don't see myself. Okay. Okay. Okay, sorry. Technical issues. All right. Hi, everyone. Nice to see you all. For those, I think I've met everyone. But I'm Mary Shaffner, Executive Director, Founder, and Parent. I'm really happy to have you here tonight. It's actually a great turnout for the first PTO meeting, I think, especially at this time of year. So I'm just going to give you a quick update, and then we'll talk a little bit about my plans as well. Okay, so this year, we are, obviously we've moved into this great new building. We're super excited to be here. Thank you, Carmen. This is the cafe. And of course, we have lots of new staff and students. We actually have 101 staff this year and 804 students. So, wow. It's a big jump. Just some things that are going on. Hopefully you saw our most recent school report card from the PCSB. We got our Tier 1 status, which we're thrilled about, our 2nd year running. And we're also now working on IB and Middle States Association authorization, and that will be happening in the next few months. So we're on track. Everything's looking great. We're excited to start getting authorized for the diploma program and the careers program. For the gym, it's scheduled to be ready on February 12th. The only thing that might fall behind is the field because I'm working on just some different things with the field. But I'll keep you updated on that. And everything's coming along. We'll have the science wing on the bottom, then the gym, and then the arts behind the gym. Great. We've had an awesome year so far. Hopefully you may have seen Lori. Lori helped us organize a pep rally with the Athletics Booster Club, and we had a great sports season with our volleyball girls going to state for the first time, and our middle school and girls and boys are both going to the championships for soccer. So really great showing all around, and we even made some of the top marks. Okay, so next year we're going to be adding, Ying has a bubble class that year of 100 students, which is odd, so we'll have 300 new 6th graders next year. Yes, and going to 8th grade. So I just wanted to kind of set that out. So this school is growing really, really fast. And so that got me to thinking, what's next? What's happening next? And as many of you know, I worked at UVA before I came here. And I'm really like a starter, a mover. I like run and shoot. I'm a writer and a shooter. I'm not really like a make it, operationalize it kind of person. I'm really a get it up and going. So, talking to the board, I thought now is a great time. The building's open for us to find somebody great to run the school. So we hired a wonderful search firm called Agility, and they're the ones who some of you may have spoken to. They're the ones who put together the survey, soliciting community feedback. And they're working with us to find an awesome executive director for next year. And what our plan is that Simon will then become the chief academic officer, and we will have 2 principals, one for the middle school, one for the high school. And I'm not planning on going anywhere. If you may know that Ying is planning to replicate, Mundo Verde is planning to replicate, and Stokes will replicate, and many of those will happen in the next 2 years. So guess what that means? DCI has to replicate. So I'm not going anywhere. I'm planning on staying around, but I just think we could really have a new person to really make this school great, who has a lot of experience in high school and has those skills to make it awesome. So I wanted to talk about it a little bit, to see if there were any questions people had, and the board has been working hand in hand with us, obviously, on this, and they're happy to answer any questions too. Unfortunately, they're not here tonight, but happy to take them back to them. So any questions about that? That was easy. Okay. Never mind. Dan.
Any possible locations for the meetings also?
No, it should be 5 years from now. So yeah. No, it won't. It probably won't affect any of our kids.
Well, thank you, Mary.
Oh, thank you, Mary. My pleasure.
Where are you in the search for the new executive director?
We've got out the requests. We've hired a search firm, and we've done the needs assessment with the board. So really, as the search committee, we should start looking at resumes like in the next couple of weeks and starting to have people in. Great.
So, what is your thought on, will the board basically do the interviewing and selecting, or will you bring top candidates in to talk to the broader section of the school, or what are your thoughts on that?
It will really depend on who the candidates are. We have a search committee who are made up of board members and Simon and myself. And so we're doing all of the search committee. The other members of the search committee are Melissa Kim, who's been a board member for a very long time, was the former president of DEAL, CAO of KIP, Sandra Lee Kong, who will be here tomorrow for Cafe Charla. She's the head of the education committee, and also at the Gates Foundation. And then Jamila Frone, who is HR director, is that the right title? HR something at the Department of Justice.
She's had a attorney recruitment.
Yes, sorry. Thank you. It's something about HR, but I'm really great at HR. Thank you. Department of Justice. And who am I missing? And Sarah Snyder and Andrea Lockenmeyer. So that whole group is part of the search committee. And if there is, I think we will land on one candidate, and we will have him come meet, he or she come meet the group. I'm not sure we will have like 2 candidates come and meet the group, because I'm sure there will be one person who shines. But maybe we would if there were 2 options and see how they perform. But most likely, I imagine we'll bring one candidate out. That's my guess.
Right, in terms of the transition time, are you planning to be the first year?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, totally 100% plan to be here. Yeah. And I'll stay. If we don't find anybody, I'm committed to staying too. So, I think we're going to find somebody though. Yeah. Great.
Mary, what's timing on hiring the 2 principals? You're going to hire 2 principals too, right?
Yes, next year, but it may take, if it doesn't happen next year, then we'll go 1 more year. It's really, but it won't, one may be internal, one may not be internal, we may go external, so we're already starting those processes right now.
And you'll keep your VPs by 3rd?
We will not keep the APs. We'll change that structure. Yeah.
Mary?
Great. Oh, sorry. Yeah, 1 for the middle school, 1 for the upper school.
And so what will happen to the people who are currently the VPs?
They'll do other roles, or they'll move into the principal positions.
They're assistant.
They're assistant principals, right? Yeah. We don't plan to lose them. There are lots of jobs, believe me. All right, so thank you so much for your support in this role. It's been awesome, and I will be here. My daughter is here. She's coming back next year. She'll be here through the whole thing, so you won't be losing me. I'll still be at meetings. Okay. Next up, I'm really excited about the Voyager campaign. I know Marie will probably talk about it to support our 8th grade trips. And are you going to talk a little bit about the trips at all, or no?
Probably not about the trips, more about Voyager.
Okay. So I will just tell any 8th grade parents that information, we've gotten a lot of emails about that. That information is forthcoming. We are almost locked in on the dates, and we know the places. So stay tuned, it's coming. And then just some upcoming events that Simon and I want to share with you. Cafe Charla is tomorrow, and that's very much geared toward Hispanic families, but anybody is welcome to come. We will translate it into English if you want. 8th grade trip night and high school night. So that's the night we talk about high school with our 8th graders, but other people are welcome to come, and we'll talk about the trips, is tentatively scheduled for 12/12. We're going to have a night which is the CP, so Career Program DP night, and that is really much more geared towards the 9th and 10th graders. We're going to talk through, there's been a lot of questions about what classes will be HL, that's higher level, what will be standard level, and what are the offerings. So we were going to really run everybody through that on 118, and then we'll have a tech night on 111. So stay tuned, there's lots of things coming up. And then we're also in our recruiting process for next year, so there's people are asking you, how do I get to find out about DCI? Because we get that email every day. We'll be at EdFest. We have info sessions every single month. We're having all the parents in from the theater schools, as well as our buddy days are wrapping up, so there's just lots of ways. I just got a parent who said live stream is great. Yay. Okay. So that's it for me. Again, thank you very much. Thank you, Penny, for your service. I can't believe you've done this for 2 years, so everyone say and Anna and everyone else who's coming on, thank you for your bravery.
Okay, next up we have Lori Nelson-Choice going to give a quick update on the Booster Club. We have our camera over here. It takes a minute. It takes a minute.
Oh,
Just
okay.
trust it.
All right. Hi, everyone. As you know, we just started a brand new booster club this year. Very exciting. The DCI Athletic Booster Club, fondly called the DCI ABC. Pep Rally was our first event, which was so much fun, very exciting. We've got a lot of great things planned. Really, the two goals that we have as a booster club are to support the student athletes through school spirit initiatives, and then also through fundraising to help maybe do some extra things that they need. The exciting part about being in a new high school, we don't have a sports tradition, really, at this point. So the kids who are here now get to help develop what that's going to look like. So we want to be a part of that. We're putting together a student booster group for those kids who maybe aren't in sports, or even if they are in sports, but they want to, make posters and create cheers and do that sort of thing. So I think it's really exciting what's going to happen this year. When the gym opens, I think our next big event will be something probably like a faculty-student basketball game, which would be really fun. Teachers have already said they're going to list. They know that. In December, we're going to start, for 3 months in a row, we're going to do a restaurant night, and we'll let you know. So you guys will go, take your family, and the proceeds from that will come back to the Booster Club. And then we also have memberships, which range from $10 all the way higher, as well as some corporate sponsorships. So, if your kids play a sport, we'd really like to have your support with this, and even if they don't and you just want to support the school in general. So look, I would say probably the week after Thanksgiving, we're rolling out sort of a membership program that you'll see more of. You probably also saw our newsletters as well, which I think look really fantastic. So more of that. So if you have questions, let me know. If you want to volunteer for a committee, and I don't want to take away from PTO volunteers, so do that first. And then if you're still interested, let me know that as well. Any questions? All right, thanks.
Okay. All right. All right, so on the back side of the agenda, you should see a communication cheat sheet. No? Oh, there's a second page. Okay, sorry about that. We are going to be passing that around here. One thing that has been coming up a lot is, how do I find this? How do I communicate with that? How many Facebook pages are there? So we tried to compile it all together. We might still be missing something, but this is just kind of a quick cheat sheet. We have the PTO email address, how to get the DCI Parents Google group email if you're not receiving that, how to sign up for that, DCI Dispatch, Facebook, there's 2 different Facebook pages. There's one more parent-centric, and then there's the school one. Twitter, then text is also a way the school communicates. And then we also have some school contact information as well as the parent portal, which even me, a seasoned parent, I was like, wait, how do I get to the parent portal again? So even those of us that have been here for 3 years need a check-in. So hopefully you'll find this as a valuable resource. And if there's something missing, let me know. We'll add it on, and we'll also get this translated in Spanish so that we can share it with the broader community. Then the next thing I have on here is parent input. If I could get a couple assistants, I've got some note cards here, and we've got, let's see, 3 colors. So green, red, and yellow. And then we've got pens if you need them. Pass those around. So what we want to try to do, and I understand people who are just viewing in, you can't necessarily participate on this, but perhaps what we can do is send out a Google form for you to put your input. But what we would like to do is develop a parent survey, kind of gauging what you like, what you wish we could work on, both as a PTO and as a school, because the parent-teacher organization, we're also here to advocate for the teachers and for the parents to the school. So we've got to be the conduit of information. So what I'd like you to do is, on the red cards, any issues that you'd like PTO to address, either within the school or within PTO. So that's like things we need to work on. Green card, what do you like? We want to hear what you like about the school, what you like about activities that we've done. We need some of that positive feedback to know, well, if it's working, maybe we need to focus our efforts in that direction so we can make it a bigger or better event. And then the yellow card, any other suggestions that you have. So fundraisers, community activities. One of the things we did last year was a winter coat drive for our students. Unfortunately, a winter coat drive. It was actually broader than coat drive. We actually did a Google sign up for people to sign up to. We got a needs survey done, and then from that we did a sign up for people to purchase items for students at the school. Unfortunately, I don't think we're quite there to get that initiative up off the ground. But if there's maybe a community activity that you could think of for the spring that PTO could get involved with, I'd be interested, and the board would be interested in seeing if we could do, something to give back to the school community or the community in general. So I'll let you guys fill those out. We are, we're at 6:30, so we've got good time. Excellent. So I'm going to kind of move forward. Ways to get involved throughout this year. We have the Voyager Fund, and I'll let Maria tell you a little bit about that. And just to kind of preface this, I did create some sign-up sheets, so don't run away as soon as the meeting's done. I have sign-up sheets for the Voyager Fund, Staff Appreciation, Taste of DCI, Communication Committee, and Hospitality Committee. Oh, yes. Oh, sorry. I got way ahead of myself. I meant to introduce our staff liaison. Let's see where she is. Oh, there she is. Okay. Fatimata Magasa, she is an ESL teacher here at DCI. She's going to be our conduit to the staff. So she's going to... She's going to be our point of contact for staff members to reach out to her for any needs that they have, supplies, special activities they'd like to do and need some parent support. She'll let us know, and then we can filter out to the community. All right, Maria?
Hi everybody, I'm Maria Nelson and I'm volunteered for the Voyager campaign. Is anyone here new this year for DCI? Okay, so the Voyager campaign, just so you know, is an annual giving campaign. And it's the goal is to raise money for student travel. So as we know, international travel is a major component of DCI's education. So this is an annual giving campaign, and last year, this past summer, I should say, we had basically the first summer trip, group of kids going overseas. So that was, and the Voyager campaign helps to contribute to that. So what's happening this year is starting on April 30th, you'll basically start hearing from the Voyager campaign folks leading up to that. But it lasts about a couple of weeks, and essentially it's just a giving campaign. This year we're going to try really hard to get more sponsors. So if you know any local businesses, if you have companies that are do company matching, that kind of thing, we're really looking to boost the portion of funds raised from sponsorships. And just stay tuned. We're definitely going to be looking for volunteers, and we'll just keep posting updates as we get closer to April. And there is a page on the DCI website about Voyager, but I think what we'll need to do is maybe send something out to the listserv, and also maybe other ways to communicate out, just so you can get familiar with what the Voyager campaign is about if you aren't already familiar with it.
And last year we raised over 70,000.
Yeah, so the last year we met our goal, and our goal was 60,000, but I think we got slightly over that, which was fantastic. And this year we'll more than likely raise the goal because we have more students and a larger community to help us get sponsors and that kind of thing. So stay tuned, and I'm just going to say thank you in advance for your support, because it's not possible without the parents. It's very much a parent community effort. So just going to say thank you in advance for your help.
Quick question. Is it 8th grade and then sort of also a high school level grade that goes?
For the trips?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's basically it's geared towards the 8th grade, like the summer after they complete the
So they're going to do
grade.
one for the high school age?
Yes.
Is it after 10th grade or 11th grade?
I can't remember. Well, it hasn't happened yet, but I understand there is a plan for high school travel as well. And so,
Yeah, I thought it was
there might be a question for Mary.
The trips for high school, what's it gonna be between 10th and 11th?
Yeah, so we haven't really figured out like what exactly that's going to be, except for it's really trying to. We actually have a new director of development and partnerships, so we really want her to start figuring out like what are the possibilities for kids. It won't be we're sending all of our kids overseas to some location. We'll be pushing them to take opportunities and helping them make those opportunities. So that's really what our plan is for that.
So for
still forming. But they have to not be gone 11th and 12th. So we'll want them to go after 9th or after 10th or during those years.
So after,
DP demands.
Yeah.
so there's some kind of a requirement there. So the travel has to happen after 9th or after 10th,
Yeah, or in the summer, but it can't happen during the year.
and not during the year.
Yeah.
Okay, so for those on the whatever this is streaming, the question was about travel for the older students, and they're going to work on a plan
Yeah,
for
so
that.
we've been talking to a lot of kids about doing, they've been applying for some of the programs, we've been sending out a lot of information about that
Okay.
to students, and we're trying to get them to follow their passions to do something overseas. Like we have one student who's looking at Korea, another one who's looking at going to China, but we're really working with them to figure out what they want to do.
Kind of like more like an independent study kind of idea.
We're working on also some partnerships for like switching homestays and things like that, like longer term.
Great. So also, I guess with that in mind, Voyager could very well end up extending beyond the needs of the 8th grade trips to help support all the grades. Great. Thank you. Oh, one other question?
Real quick, so the fundraiser, the target that we met on the needs, I think I balanced out how much we need to raise this summer, this coming summer. I guess we don't know yet, but we'll.
Yeah, I mean, we try to target somewhere around 20% to come from 20% of it to come from That's our particular target. That we're have about the same amount of students going next year as we did this. There'll be just a little bit of a percentage more next year going. This year will be the 8th grade, but we're actually fundraising for the 7th grade.
Right. So the fundraiser this year is for the future 8th graders, right? Did I just say that right?
Yeah. The current 7th rising.
Current 7th rising 8th graders.
So we typically do like
right.
try to do 20%, but we'll see 20% of the total price. Okay.
Yeah. So Voyager covers, you know, a portion of it. It doesn't cover the entire cost of the trip. Yeah.
What are some examples of fundraising that you've done to support Voyager?
Yeah, that's a great question. We've done community events. There were a couple of restaurants near the old location that helped. In fact, one is a restaurant run by a DCI parent. So restaurant events we try to tie that in during the giving campaign and maybe throughout the year.
It's driven through a letter campaign.
Yeah. So in terms of the way the campaign works, we send out a letter and a donation envelope, and there's essentially like class captains that help to ensure that participation is as close to 100% as possible, and basically it's just a general ask to the community and to sponsors to donate. So it's through networking. Some parents have gotten very creative about fundraising in terms of like having a party with their network of friends and getting donations that way. So there's a lot of actually kind of interesting ideas that if you have an idea about what to do, I mean, we're welcome for more suggestions. We welcome more suggestions, but yeah, the parties tend to be kind of I think that's something that worked out really well for a couple of parents last year, where they had like a basket, you know, and then they managed to gather quite a bit of donations just from having their own like private party, that kind of thing. So, all right.
And with that said, kind of leads into the taste of DCI, because that's kind of
you're all done.
Okay.
I'll switch places.
I'm jumping ahead in my ways to get involved, but we have the Voyager campaign in the early spring, and then towards the end of the year we have the Taste of DCI, which is kind of our celebration of the school year, the celebration of the success of the Voyager campaign. That's an event where if we did have any corporate sponsorship for the Voyager campaign, we'd invite them to come to the Taste of DCI. So it's kind of just a big celebration point for that. The staff appreciation, I want to jump back. That's something that we've historically been doing every year, where we take a whole week and we try to show our appreciation to the staff. And I find every year we kind of forget to talk about it until like about a month before, so I wanted to make an extra point to bring it up now, because since we are getting so big. But typically what we have done in the past is bringing in breakfast items each morning, and then on the final Friday we do a staff lunch. So we will work on the details for that. I think we might have to do some fundraising efforts just to facilitate that week of events, because there are some costs that we want to try to, as a PTO, make sure we've got the paper goods and things set up and such, but then also do a nice luncheon so we can have it catered. But we will discuss that with the committee, so if you are interested in helping with staff appreciation, it's one of my sign-up sheets that I do have available for you to sign up for, and you can help mold that. and that will be in May. So it's actually that final week of the Voyager campaign. So it's going to be a very exciting week here at DCI in May. Then other ways to get involved, communication committee. We keep talking about creating a school directory, a parent directory. I've had positive and negative feedback on that. So if you're interested in trying to help facilitate better communication from the PTO to the school, please sign up and get involved on that. We do need to work on communication in terms of Voyager campaign. We don't necessarily have room parents, we've all kind of grown up from that, but we do have ATL, so there is kind of a focal point. So in theory, we could have a parent from each ATL, but what ends up happening is some ATLs have 3 or 4 really awesome parents, and some ATLs maybe not so much. People are busy, we all got different things going on, we understand, but we want to make sure that we have all the excited people. If we need 36 awesome parents, we don't want to, stick them in a box to each ATL. So we do need some help in creating different ways to help get messages filtered out, so that when we do special events, we make sure everybody's touched and everybody gets the message, so that they can participate. And then hospitality committee. That's kind of a broad one again, kind of tied a little bit into Taste of DCI, also assisting with events like the Hispanic Heritage Festival. In the spring, we'll also have the Francophonie. It's probably a luncheon. It's traditionally been a luncheon. We haven't done an evening event, but there's times when the school needs some support to help, put food together and make things nice. So if you like to make people feel at home and want to, help with that, please sign up for hospitality as well. So that's the end of my list. Our next meeting officially is going to be Wednesday, January 17th. We will send out an email reminder. I think maybe we'll do even an email RSVP so we can get a better gauge of how many people are going to attend. Does anybody have any questions or comments they'd like to throw out before we end? Oh, got a couple over here.
I just received that yesterday for the first time. Were there ones that came out before that?
There should have been like a week or 2 ago. We only got one yesterday.
Like Simon's email on the weekend.
Okay, so it wasn't. Right, and so that's probably the DCI parent group. So that might be, we were talking about on the communication cheat sheet. If you're not getting, there's a Google group for parents, and that's traditionally how the PTO does a lot of their communication. We also do piggyback on the dispatch. Probably would have been nice if we had it in the dispatch like 2 weeks ago, so it got a little bit on board. But in terms, somebody also asked if we were going to have our own calendar. We are trying to marry our calendar into the school calendar because we don't really need 2 calendars, we need the school calendar. And, so as we get things set in, dates set, we put them over to the school and they post it on the school calendar. So. Oh.
Question. I assume, because it's been so long, but for new students that they are providing some information on how they can sign up for the parents Google group. And if it's like a one-shot thing, maybe the school could do it a couple of times because it really seems key that everybody is on there, and I do appreciate some of us have very reasonable abilities. And so that might just be a thought that could be helpful for us, because I don't think who actually, because it's a school who sends it out, but even to identify who the folks are with the emails, just to make sure, or try to really do what we can to make sure all parents are actually on it. And I don't know what the numbers are right now,
right.
But I think that's kind of a starting point for communication, and part of that may be like a cultural shift, right? And I think as we're growing bigger, that can be a little bit lost. So I think in terms of just our communication, as a starting point, making sure, and if there are parents that don't have email, to try to identify those folks. And again, some of that is like getting into like private student stuff. So, but I think that's something you can work with the school with. Because I think just making sure that everybody, is on, and that may mean bugging people a couple of times. So, because things get lost, they go to spam or whatever. So,
and that's, I think, one of the struggles with the Google groups that I understand. I think Lauren can add people on, but they're invited, and so then there's an email that comes that they have to accept it. And so sometimes people get lost through that.
And one thing, I manage a list, it's a lot smaller to other people, but I like give people a heads up it's coming. So if you don't get it, it's a little extra work, but like if you don't get it, look in your trash or your spam, and if you still don't get it, let me know. So whether that's just with the community or school or whatever, I just think kind of as a baseline starting point, to just try to, make sure that everybody's on there and incoming parents. And again, just sort of a cultural shift, like parents, because I think a lot aren't going to come to everybody to the internet. But I think the reality is that, it is probably a more challenge for people to get here, so that would be the way we're communicating with folks. So I just think at least an initial, browbeating people until they don't want to hear from us.
And maybe that's something we can work with Lauren, like if we could maybe have a couple volunteers. I don't know how would work best for her,
Absolutely. But I think some of that follow-up and not just sending it once, because then if they don't get it, then they forget about it, and then they, don't hear about stuff. So just a thought, if we're trying to kind of maximize our ability to reach out to folks.
It could be something that you have to post routinely, but you could put it like in the footer of the DCI dispatch. I think that list, if I'm not mistaken, is more comprehensive. And then we probably just have to make sure to send reminders on basically everywhere.
I think so, and like having it happen is
almost like maintenance.
Right. So people know, okay, this is how we're going to get information. So especially as we're getting a bit bigger.
It's definitely a challenge. Google groups are challenging to. There's a limit on even how many. You can't do a bulk send because it's it look like a spammer. So you have to. It's actually kind of cumbersome to
add like 20 at a time or something.
Batch. So I know that's probably one of the challenges. Plus, it works both ways. The person who receives it really does have to do their part of it as well to join. But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't do it. It's just
I think using the dispatch and maybe trying to make it a little bit more prominent. So as we're just trying to move forward.
But I think that the constant contact list, if I'm not mistaken, I think that does get to more.
I think it's to everybody.
It's exported out directly out of these schools.
Right.
More tries to get the Google group, but like you said, it's a challenge. People have to accept it. Day. So, but we could maybe add it. I think it's a good idea. And we text.
For the PTO group page, are you going to update all the information that we just went over today, like with the agenda and stuff? Is that going to be posted on in that group or that tab?
So we will, typically the plan is after meetings, we put together notes from the meeting and then any handouts, and then we'll send an email out through the Google groups. Yes.
Because PTO has their own, correct?
No, we don't have, we have our own email address, but we do have a page on the parent portal that we need to update, and there I believe we can also post the minutes.
Okay.
So, so that's in a transition. So also communication. So if people want to help us improve our website, et cetera, sign up for communication.
2 questions. How do we officially join the PTO?
So basically, if you're a parent at the school, you're automatically a member. As of right now, we don't have dues. Everybody who's a parent is a member.
That leads into my second question. Does the PTO have its own budget? And if so, what's it for?
So we have ourselves a new treasurer this year. Our budget, we are working on that. Most of our fundraising efforts has been focused on Voyager campaign, so the little bit of extra that we've made, and Taste of DCI, we raise money, but we charge a very nominal fee for the Taste of DCI, so that kind of just covers, the expenses of that event. So we definitely need to look at what we want to do at the school and budget out what really we're realistically going to need and do some fundraising around that. We have been relying on the kindness of strangers the last 2 years. So, any other questions? Nope. All right. Well, please, if you didn't sign in, please make sure you do sign in. I'm going to get the sign-up sheets for the committees out on this table over here, so you can sign up for a committee if you like. Please pass in your cards. Yes. Yep. Just drop them there on the table, and we will be putting together a survey in the next. Probably be coming out early January, most likely. Who has the sign-up sheet? The sign-in sheet. Okay. The sign-in sheets over there. I've got the committee sign-up sheets here. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Yes. So it's also it's definitely so I'm kind of trying to figure out who your Right. Semester had to close this down.
Thank you.
I know, I'm like, how do you turn it off? Or anyone from any engagement, like any Howard, they try everything.
Didn't you sign my name right here? Signing on. All of these.
They may still be streaming, so they might want to it's all.
that go?
Maybe, I don't know.
No problem. Thank you. Take care.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's also like that. And I was just that
Yeah, I'm gonna, I don't know, it stopped. But you told me I had to turn it all off, so it's okay.
So